Hello and welcome to the Finali Mondiali from the Ferrari Challenge here at Mugello, where we see for the first time today just a sprinkling of sunshine. It's been wet and damp and drizzly for most of the morning, but just as this TropheoPirelli Finali Mondiali is about to get underway, well, just looking at the track conditions now, we think most of the drivers will have gone out on full wet weather tyres. But this world final race features a compulsory pit stop between minutes 10 and 25 into the race to allow the two driver teams of car number 5, Daniel and Renato D'Amato, and also the 53 car of Boris Rotenberg and Sergei Slobin to swap drivers. Every driver, though, has to come in, switch his engine off and be stationary for 60 seconds. But with that mandatory pit stop, we are thinking that perhaps if a dry line develops, some will bolt on some slick tyres. That cannot be done until after the mandatory 60 seconds has elapsed. But nonetheless, of course, a huge advantage that they have to take a compulsory pit stop anyway. So we're thinking that most drivers will be starting potentially on wet weather tyres and might switch to slicks if there is no showers. We will see. Certainly the Copa race that we saw just an hour or so ago was run on full wet weather tyres to the very end. But we will see. The World Final weekend then, a huge Ferrari festival. And in particular, as you can see, the packed grandstand here at Mugello. This whole weekend being used as an opportunity to say grazie Felipe. Thank you to Felipe Massa, who is here and has been part of the Ferrari family for a great number of years, and what a servant he's been to Ferrari also. Well, the Rotenberg Slogan car takes a spin on the lap to the grid. Now, whether they're going to be able to recover that car and use that car as just saw some raindrops coming down there, I think. This is our pole position man, Daniel Mancinelli, who fought all the way to the final race yesterday for the championship and didn't make it. It was won by Sergei Chukhanov, so Mancinelli second in the championship, but would love to take this world final race. Onofrio Triazzi then from Ferrari of Central Florida has been yeah, we can see the rain coming down now. The brollies go up, so, well, that puts the kibosh on my suggestion of potential slick tyres during the mandatory pit stop, probably. So Onofrio Triazzi then, we were saying, has had some good drives across this weekend. The International Cup champion, here he is, Max Blancardi, former TropheoPirelli champion, and he's here for the World Final with Samantha, his partner, alongside. Stands a very good chance of taking this, as does this man. Starts from P4 on the grid, Philippe Baron. Third in the TropheoPirelli Championship, knew he couldn't win the championship, and he and the Octane 126 team, their sights have been set on the World Final race, and to take victory in it. Looks comfortable in there. Max Blancardi wears our helmet cam. And we're on board from Daniel Mancinelli then, looking back from his pole position. This is Onofrio Triazzi. Look at the dark clouds ahead on that shot. Here's Ferrano.
L'inglese Alex Martin apre la 10ª fila con la Ferrari 458 numero 9 e Alessandro Mezzoni.
And the Scuderia Praha driver, Robert Pergel. One of the longest serving drivers in the Ferrari Challenge. He's back there, way down the order. P18 on the grid for Robert Pergel. Pazin Lathoris, well, from his starting position of P6, you wouldn't necessarily bet against him, nor would you this man, Stefano Guy. Car was virtually rebuilt on Friday night, following an off on Friday. Stefano Guy, who's combined sporadic outings in the Ferrari Challenge with outings in the European Le Mans Series, the helmet for Ferrari as well. Let's take a look at some beauty shots then of Mugello and some of the action. So we're seeing shots of just some of the action from across this world final weekend, the Finali Mondiali here at the 5.2 kilometer Mugello circuit. So just some of the shots from the highlights of the weekend of what has been a fantastic weekend of racing in the Ferrari Challenge. Daniel Mancinelli we saw there briefly as the assembled visitors and guests that are on the grid make their way off the grid now. Here's Raphael Giannoni we saw there, and a packed grandstand full of Ferrari fans here to enjoy the action from the Ferrari Challenge in effectively the last race of the season for 2013. Here's the grid in full then. Daniel Mancinelli, alongside is Sonafrio Triasi. Then it is Max Blancardi and Philip Barron that lock out row 2 of this huge grid for the Finali Mondiali World Final race. At the bottom of the graphics there you can see the web address for everything about Ferrari Challenge information-wise, corsaclienti.ferrari.com. Next row, Ferrano, Pazin Lathoris, then it's Guy and Harry Chung, who's also been a very lively customer from the North American series of the Ferrari Challenge. This World Final weekend sees the Asia Pacific, the North America and the European series all racing together. And everyone wanting to take that gold crown, if you like, that is the World Final. Steve Wyatt, Daniel D'Amato, one of the drivers that will be swapping with Renato D'Amato, a 2-driver car there, P10 on the grid. P11 is Chelis, then it is Negro, then we see Dario Carzo, Giacomo Strata, Sergei Chukhanov, who is the champion for the European TropheoPirelli series, then it's Lorenzo Cassé, Raphael Giannoni, Robert Purgel, Alex Martin, Alessandro Vezzoni, Ezequiel Perez Companc, then it's Herney P22 and Boris Rotenberg. Well, question over whether he'll make it to the grid because we saw the car off on the lap to the grid, so we will see. The Boris Rotenberg, Sergei Slobin car, another 2-driver car that will have the driver change during the mandatory pit stop. So wipers on, drizzle coming down now, as you can see on the lens of our camera there. 40-minute race with a mandatory 60-second pit stop to happen between minutes 10 and 25 into the race. And let's go then, the formation lap is underway. And very much looks like this World Final race is going to be a wet one. 5.2 kilometers the circuit here at Mugello. Sergei Chukhanov then is the European champion. Max Blancardi is the International Cup champion. The Asia champion is from Asia Pacific is Pazin Lathoris, and the North American champion Onofrio Triazi is right there in your screen right now. Car number 323. Other titles or other awards up for grabs across the season include the Coppa Giovanni, which is a fight between Sergei Chukhanov and Daniel Mancinelli, just 3 points between them. And the Coppa Teams trophy as well, which is being fought out by Ferrari Ukraine and Motor Piacenza. So on board with Onofrio Triazi then. And confirmation from Nico alongside me, no Boris Rotenberg on the grid. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that if they can get the car back in order, they could start from the pit lane. Almost academic, given that he was going to be right at the back portion of the grid, but can't see that at the moment. Doesn't look like that's likely, so Boris Rotenberg and Sergei Slobin then probably not taking part in this world final race, which means the only two-driver car will be that of Daniel D'Amato and Renato D'Amato. There, the huge support for the Team Ukraine. They've been bussing them in here to Mugello across the course of this weekend. Of course, they've already seen Sergei Chukhanov crowned as the TropheoPirelli European champion. Andre Lebed in the Coppa Shell sadly crashed out of race yesterday. But with a bit of work to do, Sergei Chukhanov starting from P15 on the grid for this world final race. Just have a feeling that the gold roof may elude him. But who knows, a lot can happen. Everyone looking up at the big screen as the marshal tells the drivers to grid up. Rounding the Buccini turn in due course, just after this Biondetti chicane. Cars do get into grid, the Hublot safety car leading them away. So just that Buccina turn to go around before they are into the start-finish straight. One to watch, probably going to be Philippe Baron from P4 on the grid. Seen some blistering starts from the Octane 126 driver and expecting the same today. Long drag down to the turn one, the San Donato right-hander. Going to be very exciting there. Just you saw in shot car number 32, Sergei Chukhanov, the TropheoPirelli European Series champion. Took that win yesterday, didn't actually cross the line. Car ended up in the gravel. Daniel Mancinelli was given a penalty, and that meant that Sergei Chukhanov had enough points in the bag to take the title. As the red lights are up in caption, the top left-hand side of your screen, they will change from red to green, and we will be away and racing in this world final race. Cautious approach to the start-finish line from all the drivers, and we go green and racing. 40 minutes of hot rocking Ferrari Challenge racing to come. So Daniel Mancinelli leads them away. Max Blancardi and Philippe Baron are side by side. Baron now goes for an outbreak move on Onofrio Triazi. It's a long way round there. And Triazi tries to get up the inside of Mancinelli. Mancinelli taking a wider line through there. Of course, this is the first performance lap in the race. All the drivers are just weaving their way around as Triazi is gone. Onofrio Triazi then, perhaps one of the favourites for this title. Will he be able to get the car going? Probably not, stuck in the gravel there. So it's Mancinelli from Baron, from Blancardi, and look at the cars piling through. Sergei Chukhanov on a real charge in car number 32. He is the European champion, and he's up into 8th place already from his lowly position on the grid. And Triazi then just on his own, back-stepped out, couldn't hold on to it. And here we can see it again in replay. Blancardi doing jolly well to avoid him. Well done, Max, and there is Triazi. Now that car is right on the gravel, very, very close to the circuit. Another one that's made an absolutely incredible start is Stefano Guy in car number 99. He's in P4 at the moment. So Mancinelli from Barron, from Blancardi, then Guy. And Daniel D'Amato there. And that looks, well, out onto the grass for Daniel D'Amato. Is going to be able to recover from that, but he's lost a bucket full of places. But the man on the move is Sergei Chukhanov. Here we can see D'Amato again. Absolutely just carrying too much speed into there. And Chukhanov is up into 6th place already. This is Onofrio Triazzi going round. So the race is being led then by Daniel Mancinelli with Philippe Barron in 2nd place. Then it is Max Blancardi. Then it is Stefano Guy. Then we see Pazin Lathoris. Then we see Sergei Chukhanov, Lorenzo Cassé and Harry Chung having a bit of a battle. Giacomo Strata holding on in there in the blue and white car, the Forza Jack car that you can just see at the back of the picture just a moment ago. And Guy is all over the back of Blancardi, trying to find a way past him. Chukhanov needs to find a way around Lathoris. Here is Lorenzo Cassé and Harry Chung then with that battle. So Chukhanov, Pazin Lathoris, P5, P6. Blancardi and Guy right in the center of your screen now. Guy just looks for a gap, but Blancardi doesn't allow him through. Why should he? Alex Martin has moved up, the UK driver, from 19th to 14th place, so good start from Alex Martin. On board we go with Max Blancardi, the Moto Malucelli driver, with Stefano Guy, and Max just gets a sideways moment there. Guy has to run off onto the curbs and onto the grass. Philippe Barron not letting Mancinelli get away. Here comes Chukhanov. P6 at the moment with Pazin Lathoris ahead of him. This in replay. Watch Max Blancardi. The back end steps out. Brilliant car control from Max Blancardi. Holds on to that. Stefano Guy has to run wide just to avoid the drifting car. And Chukhanov has got past Pazin Lathoris. The race is on. The TropheoPirelli European champion is up already into P5. Bear in mind, he started down on row 8 of the grid. What a remarkable race from Sergei Chukhanov. And that was how Chukhanov did it. Getting past Pazin Lathoris before the S's. Long drag down the start-finish straight now between Max Blancardi and Stefano Guy, who will have the Team Ukrainer blue and yellow 458 for company in just a moment. Stefano Guy holds on to the long outside, but has he got enough? Now he's going to squeeze Blancardi out, and Guy goes through. Brilliant move. He set that up perfectly. And Stefano Guy goes into 3rd place. Blancardi now will try and fight back. He's wearing our helmet camera. So Max Blancardi relegated to P4. And here comes Chukhanov. And there we can see from the helmet camera of Max Blancardi just what he didn't want to see. Stefano Guy going through, but Stefano had set that up absolutely perfectly. And this in hypermotion slow-mo. Look at the clarity of this picture. There's our race leader, Daniel Mancinelli. Sets the fastest lap at 2:13.110. There it is in caption for you. Barely 6 minutes of this race done. Plenty of excitement already. Philippe Barron, the rear end of his car, stepping out just a little bit there, running onto the curbs. Daniel Mancinelli controlling this really well at the front of the pack at the moment. The gap between himself and Barron last time around was 8 tenths. So there's P1 and P2. Stefano Guy now will be trying to get onto the back of this pairing. Chukhanov, a massive four-wheel slide around that turn as he's looking at Max Blancardi. Car number 21 under investigation for a potential overtake under the yellow flag. That's Giacomo Strata. So there was obviously a stationary yellow flag somewhere around the circuit, and Giacomo Strata deemed to have potentially overtaken in that sector. So here is Chukhanov taking a wide line around turn one. The San Donato turn through Lucca, they'll go next. Here is Alex Martin, and there is Giacomo Strata, who's under investigation, as I mentioned, for overtaking under a yellow flag. Alex Martin up into P8. Great showing from the Stratstone Ferrari driver, and Chukhanov has got past Blancardi. We'll see that in replay in just a couple of moments. This is Max fighting back, as he's having to do for the second time now. Already lost a position to Stefano Guy, now lost another place to Sergei Chukhanov. Blancardi really fighting with that car, and Chukhanov on a charge. Here is how it happened then. So Blancardi goes out wide, Chukhanov takes the tight inside line, and almost in a complete carbon copy of how Stefano Guy did it, Sergei Chukhanov does the same. So Daniel Mancinelli leading. That's his green and red car we see right in the screen right now, and Philippe Barron right behind him, just 3/10 behind. So we saw in Co-Pachel race earlier that a setup that is ideal early on need not necessarily be ideal throughout the race. So even the large gaps early on are not necessarily going to stick. Be interesting, as the cars went to grid, it wasn't raining, and I wonder who will have been brave enough to go with a really, really hard setup, expecting the race to be drying out, but isn't the case. I think it's stopped raining now. The track clearly still very, very wet. There is Stefano Guy in third place. And the fastest lap from Stefano Guy, a 2:12.326. We are 45 seconds away from the mandatory pit stop window opening. Every driver has got to be stationary in their box for 60 seconds. With the engine off, here's Dario Carzo. Provided so much race entertainment for us during the course of this season, battling there with Giacomo Strata for P9, and Dario Carzo moves up a place. So the order is Mancinelli, Barron, Guy, Chukhanov, Blancardi, Lathoris, then it's Cassé, Martin, Strata, and Carzo. So pit stop window opens now. And we'll see if any drivers opt to take an early one. So there is Daniel Mancinelli. Philippe Barron really right on him now. Barron made mention of the fact when he knew it was pretty unlikely that he could take the TropheoPirelli Championship, that he was going to go for this world final race win. He's won it on a number of occasions before and would love to do it again. Former TropheoPirelli champion Philippe Barron with this Octane 126 team, sent him back to his brilliant best at times during the course of this season. Okay, the window is open now. Will either of these two dive in for an early stop? No, they won't. They're going to stay out there. So Mancinelli from Philippe Barron and Stefano Guy, who last time around was quicker than both Barron and Mancinelli, so he is reeling them in. Mancinelli a 2:13.558, Barron 2:13.389. You can see there, and I can tell you, Stefano Guy a 2:12.496. And Sergei Chukhanov, interestingly, a 2:12.997. So he's charging too. So is Dario Carzo, trying to get past the LED extra car of Alex Martin, the UK driver. This battle for 8th position. Dario right on the bumper of Alex Martin now. It's a question of when, not if. And so too Barron all over the back, filling Daniel Mancinelli's rear view mirror with that octane 1.26.458. So in straight away, certainly early on in this comes Celis from Ferrari of Houston, also in Raphael Giannoni. And Barron gets past Mancinelli. Or does he? Mancinelli fights back. They are absolutely side by side. So Barron then takes up the lead in the race that he desperately wants to win. So wants to be the world champion, slides that car through the Biondetti S's. Philip Barron leads, but look at Stefano Guy, who's right on that pack now. Barron, Mancinelli, Guy. Barron running wide onto the grasscrete there, very slippery, but holds it all together. 4/10 between Philip Barron and Daniel Mancinelli. Mancinelli just taking a look very briefly at the inside there, but you'll note the drivers all going where they can find the grip, which isn't right inside. It's through the middle of turn 1. Max Blancardi in. We're on board with him. The helmet camera. 60-second mandatory pit stop for Max Blancardi. Engine off. Giacomo Strata, car number 21, has got a drive-through penalty for overtaking in a yellow flag sector. And this, in replay, is how Philip Barron got past Daniel Mancinelli. Just set that up absolutely perfectly. Great driving from Philip Barron. Carrying the speed there. So close between these 4.58s. Here's Dario Carzo continuing his quest to try and get past Alex Martin, and looks like he's succeeded. Also in then, the Harry Chung car, 377. Blancardi's 60 seconds done. Now this is interesting because Giacomo Strata is in for his mandatory stop, but of course he's got a drive-through penalty to take as well. Certainly won't count as one. So Philip Barron sliding the car through the Biondetti S's. And Stefano Guy doing the same, and Stefano Guy going to be challenging Mancinelli. Now, Guy, I would think that Philip Barron will try and get as much cushion up the road as he possibly can as Stefano Guy dives in for his mandatory pit stop. I think Barron will stay out until the very last moment. We will see. Guy has clearly decided to take a different approach. Harry Chung rejoining there. Philip Barron and Daniel Mancinelli go past. Now the only thing they're allowed to do is adjust tyre pressures and clean the windscreen. Nothing else can be touched. And Stefano Guy has restarted the engine. It has to stop. So also in Alex Martin, Alessandro Vezzoni too. But this man staying out there. Philip Barron, the Octane 126 driver. Made no secret of the fact that the World Final race is the one that he wants to win, knowing that he could do no better than P3 in the championship, and that's what he took. Lorenzo Casse and Pazin Lathoris together there, fighting over P4 and 5. Pazin Lathoris, the Asia Pacific TropheoPirelli champion. There's Alex Martin in the chrome and black wrap of LED Extra. Also in is Alessandro Vezzoni in car number 27. Baron and Mancinelli still not stopped. Here is Sergei Chukhanov getting past the returning Harry Chung car. So Sergei Chukhanov on track in third place at the moment, but of course he hasn't taken his pit stop yet, nor has Mancinelli or Baron. Blancardi has, and we were on board with him just a moment ago. This is Sergei Chukhanov then, the European TropheoPirelli champion. Will he take his stop now? Yes, he does. Dives into the pit lane. Mr. President from Ferrari, Luca de Montezemolo, looks on, enjoys the race action. Now Giacomo Strada out right in front of Daniel Mancinelli, who is effectively leading this now, because in comes Philip Barron, the Octane 126 driver. Well, perhaps Barron didn't leave it perhaps as late as I expected. Here is Stefano Guy. Engine restarts on the Philip Barron car. Got to be 60 seconds. Don't make a mistake. 58, 59, you'll end up with a drive-through penalty. It's got to be 60. And a drive-through penalty been awarded to Robert Pergel, the Scuderia Prague driver, for speeding in the pit lane. We're on board with Max Blancardi. Listen to that 4,400 cc power plant that sits behind him. Pazin Lathoris with the back end kicking out of that car. Blancardi seesawing with the wheel there. Start finish straight beckons. This is Robert Pergel then, who's going to get that drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Pergel down there in P13. Ain't going to be P13 for very long. Got to take that drive-through penalty. Whether he'll opt to do that straight away, no, stays out there. Penalty of speeding in the pit lane. Any drive-through penalty has to be taken within 3 laps of the penalty having been awarded. And that man, the first to suffer a penalty. So we've got around about 5 minutes before the pit lane window shuts. Mancinelli is in, turns the engine off. Has to be done, and he has to sit there for 60 seconds. The engine can be restarted now. And Chukhanov got out of the pit lane just behind Stefano Guy. So the team checking out Mancinelli's car. Restarts the engine. Here is Philip Barron. His pit stop done and dusted. So the car that's leading at the moment is Lorenzo Casse with Daniel D'Amato and Ferrano and Steve Wyatt, Ps3 and 4. But of course the actual on-track order all messed up with the mandatory pit stop. And Mancinelli gets the go from his team. 60 seconds done. Don't speed in the pit lane, that will get you a drive-through penalty. We can see there. And where is he going to come out in comparison to Philip Barron? Here is Barron steaming down the start-finish straight. Mancinelli, there's Guy, and there is Chukhanov. Now Guy will be carrying more speed than Mancinelli. So this the battle for sixth position, which of course it isn't, because Cassé, D'Amato, Farano, Wyatt are actually P's 1, 2, 3, 4 on track, but pit stop still to be done. 4 minutes left. So Daniel Mancinelli out ahead of Stefano Guy and managed to hold on to that. I thought Stefano Guy might just have enough momentum as Guy just takes a look now at Daniel Mancinelli. Philip Barron is up the road, untroubled by this pack behind, and Sergei Chukhanov will probably do the sensible thing and let these two battle and be ready to pick up any pieces that should go awry. In now comes Lorenzo Cassé and Daniel D'Amato and Farano, so that means Steve Wyatt is temporarily in the lead of this race. There is Dario Carzo getting past Pazin Lathoris. So Dario Carzo having a good race. So just Steve Wyatt to come in. Just through on your picture there was Philip Barron. And then it's this trio of Mancinelli, Guy and Chukhanov. Chukhanov buoyed by the confidence of winning the European TropheoPirelli Championship. And Chukhanov really close on Stefano Guy. And Stefano Guy having to defend is playing into the hands of Daniel Mancinelli, who's able to take advantage of that and get up the road. John Farano there, the auto gallery driver. Cassé has done his pit stop. We just await Steve Wyatt to come in before we resume with the race order. And Guy is under pressure now from Sergei Chukhanov. Chukhanov, who started way down the grid, and Guy having to defend hard, sticks his elbows out a little bit. Chukhanov trying to find a way around. Sergei Chukhanov's overtaking has been legendary as the back steps out of the car now. He's going to be right alongside Stefano Guy. Brakes now, and he's carrying a little bit more speed, gets sideways. This is a phenomenal battle between Stefano Guy and Sergei Chukhanov, and Chukhanov has done it. What a fantastic move by Chukhanov. Now Guy fights back, but Chukhanov has done enough. Next up the road for Chukhanov is Mancinelli. And in the battle, in the final race for the championship just yesterday, the charge between Mancinelli and Chukhanov ended up with Chukhanov. A little bit of a tap there from Guy as Chukhanov came past. As I was saying, the battle between Mancinelli and Chukhanov yesterday ended up with Chukhanov in the gravel. Here we can see from onboard Mancinelli's car, applause from the Ferrari Ukraine team, who've seen so much success this year. Stefano Guy runs wide onto the curbs, and Chukhanov, in the space of just a few turns, is on the back of Daniel Mancinelli. Now, interestingly, Steve Wyatt may have missed the pit lane window by around about 15 seconds, calculated by my exec producer alongside. If that is the case, he'll get a penalty for that. So, the order resumes the right way. It's Barron from Mancinelli, from Chukhanov, from Guy. We have some 13 minutes left to run. Philip Barron, driving a Demon, is some 6 seconds up the road from Daniel Mancinelli. Sliding that octane 1.26458 through the turn. It is Mancinelli, or gonna be the sequel to yesterday's drama of Mancinelli versus Chukhanov. Playing out on your TV screen any moment. There is Daniel Mancinelli, finished second in the TropheoPirelli European Championship as Chukhanov is losing grip. And very nearly lost a place there to Stefano Guy. Guy will be able to sniff the opportunity now to unsettle Chukhanov. Goes through on the inside. Chukhanov carrying enough momentum to be able to resist that challenge from Stefano Guy. Depending on what setup the engineers have gone for these cars, whether they were banking on more rain, how the suspension has been set up. Well, the battle between Chukhanov and Guy is doing a big favour to Mancinelli because he's able to get up the road. Just looking from that, it just looked on that camera lens as if it was starting to rain again. Well, Nico Spalak alongside me was absolutely right. Steve Wyatt misses the pit stop window and gets a drive-through penalty. Can really be no excuse for that. Right. Wipers going full tilt now as the rain teams down. The brollies around the Mugello Raceway go up. Their confirmation of that drive-through penalty for car number 577, Steve Wyatt. Team Ukraine pit perch there. And all of a sudden, Chukhanov is back on the back of Mancinelli. There's Philip Barron, our race leader, going through. So let's just take a look at the lap times here. And this is Stefano Guy, hyper, slow-mo. Really sliding that 4.58. So last time around, Barron did a 2:13.033, 2:13.515 for Mancinelli, 10th quicker for Chukhanov. Dario Carzo on a charge as well down there in Max Blancardi has a spin. Very nearly collects Lorenzo Cassé, but doesn't. You can see the rain really coming down there now. Look at the brake disc light up, this hypermotion slow-mo we're able to bring you. So I was mentioning there, Dario Carzo last time around a 2:12.451. He's a man that is pushing hard as we look at the Rosso Corsa timing screens on the pit perch. Just under 10 minutes left to run in this race. Mancinelli and Chukhanov. These two fought hard yesterday, so hard that Chukhanov ended up in the gravel. After the race, Mancinelli awarded a penalty, flashing his lights furiously at Daniel Mancinelli. This is the battle for second position, and Stefano Guy is still in that mix as well. Well, Chukhanov is quicker than Mancinelli, no doubt about it. But Mancinelli will not want to relinquish that position. Chukhanov just takes a look, tries to unsettle him. Gets out onto that grass creek there, and then came this sequence of flashing his lights at Daniel Mancinelli. So we're back with the action live. As Chukhanov now just took a look at the inside. Sergei Chukhanov, who's had a phenomenal season for Team Ukraine in the Ferrari Challenge, TropheoPirelli. Stefano Guy is still with them here, but now so close between Mancinelli and Chukhanov. If Chukhanov can get the drive here, got to defend from Guy as well. Stefano Guy is looking menacing. All the raindrops on the camera lens there that you can see. Around the Corinteo turn, through the Biondetti S's they come, heading up towards Puccini, the final turn before the start-finish straight. 7.5 minutes left to run. This is where Chukhanov could do well, because if he can get the drive now, runs through, and he has done it even before the start-finish straight. Mancinelli will also try and get the drag now too. As we look at the pit perch there, they're going to be absolutely side by side going into turn one. This is going to be incredible. San Donato turn beckons. Who's going to get there first? Well, that was great driving from Daniel Mancinelli, or was it? Yes, it was, because he managed to get that place back. Sergei Chukhanov set it up perfectly, but down the straight, Mancinelli just got the better exit off of that Puccini turn and was able to carry that momentum on. And Chukhanov pushed too hard. He's out on the grass. He's lost a place to Stefano Guy. Calm him down, race engineer. That's what you need to do. Try and reassure him. 6.5 minutes left to run. Here it is in replay, that whole sequence then around the Puccini turn. That's where Chukhanov got past, but now came out of that slipstream, and Mancinelli had just got superior exit speed and was able to carry that speed. Just look how close those cars got, but Mancinelli clearly quicker down that straight. And that's where Chukhanov so nearly lost it. Credit to him for his car control, because we've seen other drivers do that and end up in the gravel, or worse, in the tyre barriers. But Chukhanov, what's he lost? He's lost a place. He's still on track. And in the final 5 minutes of this race, it's going to be fraught with action. Philippe Baron is ahead up the road by some 7.5 seconds. This is the battle that will rage for second position between Mancinelli, Guy and Chukhanov. As they cross the start-finish line, once again, we have exactly 5 minutes left to run. Baron leads from Mancinelli, then it is Guy, then it's Chukhanov. Then it will be Lorenzo Cassé in P5, with Dario Carzo hard charging. So this fight here. Oh, and around goes one of the back-marking cars. That of Steve Wyatt. And that happened just where Philippe Baron was. Philippe Baron leading this race by a margin last time around of some 8 seconds. And the pack behind Mancinelli, Guy and Chukhanov are some 13 seconds ahead of Cassé and Carzo. So all spread out, and there, well, Baron had got past Wyatt before he went round. And credit to Steve Wyatt, got the car going really quickly once again, so as not to cause problems to Guy, Chukhanov and Mancinelli. So there is Stefano Guy, who is currently P3, chasing Daniel Mancinelli here. And Chukhanov just gone off the boil a little bit. Well, Stefano Guy, who another one that's had a torrid weekend really here at the Finali Mondiali. A podium would be fantastic for him, but he'd rather have the second step than the third step on the podium as he gets very sideways. Chukhanov out onto the grasscrete as well in the blue and yellow car. Guy flashes his lights furiously at Daniel Mancinelli. Around turn 14 they come. All got a good exit from turn 14 on that occasion, not running wide. Well, with just 2.5 minutes left to run in this race, you get the impression that from Guy and from Chukhanov, all caution will be thrown away now as they try and wrestle this position away from Daniel Mancinelli. Hyper slow-mo there. There is Mancinelli. He's just quietly got about his business. Resisted the attacks from Guy and Chukhanov. Philippe Baron, 7, nearly 8 seconds up the road in the lead before we get to this car of Daniel Mancinelli. Last time around a 2:13.851 for Mancinelli, 2:13.461 for Stefano Guy. And that's how close Stefano Guy is getting now to Daniel Mancinelli. See from on board the Mancinelli car looking rearward. So Mancinelli, Guy, and Sergei Chukhanov occupying Ps 2, 3, and 4. What can Stefano Guy find to get past Mancinelli? Just over a minute left to run. Giacomo Strata and Renato D'Amato there, fighting over P12. Ezequiel Perez Companc is in P11. So D'Amato and Strata here. This is a close battle on track in this TropheoPirelli World Final race. Baron leading. Mancinelli second, Guy third. And we're on the last lap of the race. And all of a sudden, Guy is having to defend from Chukhanov. Chukhanov wants to be on the podium once again. Well, he's got this lap to try and find a way past Stefano Guy. Mancinelli has done enough to defend against Guy now, and Guy goes from being the hunter to being the hunted for the final step on the podium. Chukhanov will throw absolutely everything at this. Big, big support for the Ferrari Team Ukraine driver here at Mugello this weekend. Just worries and harries Stefano Guy a little bit there. Guy defends, and defends hard. Chukhanov trying to find a 4.58 size gap through. At the moment, can't do it. Time is running out. We are on the last lap of the last race for the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli, season 2013, and what a season it's been. Third place in the European Championship for this man, Philippe Baron, who middle of the season says the race he wants to win is the world final, when he realized that mathematically, following his disaster at Le Mans, that he was going to struggle to get further up the championship order. Set his sights and the sights of the Octane 126 team onto the world final race, which is this one. And Baron now has one turn ahead of that checkered flag, where he will again take the World Championship title, the World Final title. For Octane 126, Philip Barron punches the air with delight. It's going to be Mancinelli to take second and Stefano Guy to take third. Wow, what a race. There the support as Dario Carzo, in Carzo style, rounds the turn by taking a bit of grass and gravel and heaven knows what else before he takes the flag for a P6 position. Only Dario Carzo could do that and get away with it. And wow. Still the battles continue to rage. Here comes Alex Martin now, checkered flag, P9 for Alex Martin. Ferrano and Ezequiel Perez compact fighting all the way to the checkered flag. Ferrano's going to be 10 and Perez compact 11. Then it'll be Giacomo Strata and Renato Tiamato before we get into Vetsoni and Harry Chung. There is Vetsoni, Harry Chung, and then Robert Purgel. What a race in the TropheoPirelli World Final. There's Dario Carzo. Lorenzo Casse. And this a replay of Carzo and Casse getting close together. And this is where Dario decided to do a bit of sideways rallying just to put on a bit of a show before the crowd. I'm being flippant. Clearly he didn't want to do that. Alex Martin getting a bit sideways and across the grass and gravel as well. But that man takes it. Sergei Chukhanov salutes him. Lovely to see the camaraderie between these TropheoPirelli drivers, both Barron and Chukhanov. Young racing stars. And they head into the pit lane now. And, well, Christian Bertzinger from the Octane 126 team principal. Spoke to him at the Ferrari Gala dinner last night. And was explaining just how difficult the job is of a team principal to try and calm down and keep cool a young charging racing driver sometimes, and sometimes that decisions are made that a driver can't necessarily understand by the team. As Max Blancardi ended up in P8 and Alex Martin managed to rescue the car from the gravel. So there is Philip Barron, who takes the win that he set out to do so. Stefano Guy's father there to congratulate his son. And there is Barron atop the car. Last World Championship title was in 2010. He'll also take the Coppa Giovanni title as well. There is Stefano. Long, hard-fought race for Stefano Guy. And there, Daniel Mancinelli. Stefano always takes time to talk to us in the paddock. And Philip Barron then gets the baseball cap on, and congratulations from Stefano Guy. Let's see the highlights. So cars asked to get into grid order as the Hublot safety car and Mr. President Luca de Montesamolo looks on. Lights go from red to green. In this, the world final race early spin for Onofrio Triazzi. Mancinelli with the early lead, and that spin from Triazzi. The nerves and the anxiety on the pit perch as Max Blancardi gets very sideways, and Stefano Guy able to take advantage of that, as we can see from Max Blancardi's helmet camera. The man on the move, though, was in the blue and yellow car just behind Sergei Chukhanov. Look at this. From a lowly start on row 8 of the grid, Chukhanov was on a charge. So too Philippe Barron. Rupert Martin from the Dextra team looks on. So Barron on Mancinelli then. The mandatory 60-second pit stop momentarily changed the order. Chukhanov gets past Stefano Guy, but it was to be short-lived, as Stefano Guy fought back. Chukhanov on Mancinelli here, a drag race that eventually Mancinelli would win. All of this playing into the hands of Philippe Barron, who was up the road. That sideways moment meant that Stefano Guy was able to get through, but Philippe Barron became, once again, the world champion. Here then the classification, Philippe Barron, double bubble for him on the podium then, taking the World Championship title and the Coppa Giovanni trophy as well. Daniel Mancinelli P2, Stefano Guy P3, Sergei Chukhanov P4. Then it was Lorenzo Casse, Dario Calzo, Pazin Lathoris, Max Blancardi and Alex Martin. Ferrano then Ezequiel Perez Compact, Strata D'Amato, Vezzoni Chung, Pergel. And then it was Negro Giannoni, Herney Chellis, and Wyatt. And neither Triazzi nor Rotenberg classified. Triazzi did start the race, an early spin. Boris Rotenberg, well, early spin before they'd even got to the grid, which saw the end of his world final race before it had even started, literally. So we'll be heading up to the podium in a few moments from now. Alberto Porcini is our reporter, who will be getting us the reaction from everyone aboard the podium. What's been a, well, dramatic close to what has been a fantastic season of Ferrari racing. We see some of these hyper slow-mo shots. Guy right in the middle there. This from the very start. Front end of that car completely replaced on Friday night. Engineers working through until the early hours to get that car back out on track. And that nice new front, nerfing the rear of Max Blancardi's car there, that we can see from this hyper slow-mo shot. Philippe Barron in car number 91 then, the Octane 126 driver. Just look at that ceramic brakes. Glowing red. Daniel Mancinelli, so very close to winning the TropheoPirelli Championship. And we see Ferrari president there, Mr. Luca de Montezemolo, talking to Stefano Guy's father. And they'll all be heading up to the podium shortly. And team principal there from Octane 126 receiving congratulations. So, in fairness, they are up behind the podium already. Here comes Stefano Guy then out onto the podium. P3 for Stefano Guy. Here comes Daniel Mancinelli then, P2. And taking the world final. He said he was going to do it. He has done it. Philippe Barron. So national anthem plays out for Philippe Barron on the top step of the podium in the world final race. Best Asia Pacific driver, P7, passing Lathoris. Best North America, Ferrano in P10. Stefano Guy holds his trophy aloft. Daniel Mancinelli then collects his P2 trophy. Piero Ferrari, Vice President of Ferrari, making that trophy presentation. And the Ferrari President, Mr. Luca de Montezemolo here. Luca Cordera de Montezemolo then making the presentation once again to Philippe Barron. He would have done it last time back in 2010 to Philippe Barron. So Sergio Marchioni, Chief Executive Officer of the Fiat Group, making the Coppa Giovanni Trophy presentation to Philippe Barron. And look at that trophy. Mario Isola, the Pirelli Motorsport F1 manager, making that trophy presentation. What a nice collection for Octane 126 and for Philippe Barron. And there the Octane 126 engineers. And all our trophy presenters into the photograph as well. Stefano Guy makes way. What a fantastic sight on the podium. What a fantastic end. There's Amedeo Felisa, Chief Executive Officer of Ferrari. Fantastic end to what has been a brilliant season. And season 2014 in prospect is absolutely magnificent. iPhones at the ready then, taking all the photos that they can. And everyone disappears pretty rapidly because the champagne is about to be sprayed. Stefano Guy absolutely soaks Philippe Barron. Daniel Mancinelli enjoying the moment as well. Well, the overalls can get covered in champagne now. It matters not. There's no more racing for the challenge drivers to be done. Plenty more action here, though, at Mugello over the course of this final day of the Finali Mondiali, which has been a brilliant weekend. And Alberto Borghini, for sure, will be behind the podium, ready to hustle those drivers to have a word. The 2014 calendar, well, we get underway in April, as we traditionally do in Monza. From Monza, we come back here to Mugello. Then it's Brno in the Czech Republic, Portimao in Portugal, Silverstone in the UK, Istanbul, world final to come in Abu Dhabi. Here's Alberto Borghini.
Ed eccoci dal podio, questo è il saluto per gli amici di Sky. Here we are, top of the podium for the worldwide friends. Abbiamo, partendo innanzitutto in italiano, il nostro presidentissimo, che è fresco di premiazione della finale. Che emozioni?
Bello, molto bello, è veramente tanta gente sul circuito malgrado un po' di pioggia, tanto entusiasmo, una gara bellissima del Challenge combattuta fino all'ultimo, una bella festa della Ferrari, sono molto contento e ringrazio anche Sky di questa presenza e tutti coloro che sono venuti. A fantastic day, despite the weather that is like a little bit English weather, but a lot of people, enthusiastic crowd, a very interesting race until the last lap of the Ferrari Challenge. I'm very pleased, and this is really a fantastic Ferrari day, and I hope that later on we can do something good to celebrate the last lap in Mugello of Felipe Massa.
Thanks, grazie, a voi, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Alberto Borghini, talking to Mr. President. And, well, many people here are here to say thank you and cheerio to Felipe Massa as a Ferrari Formula One driver, of course. We are expectant of him to continue in Formula One. but with a different team. But nonetheless, Felipe Massa was saying yesterday just how Ferrari will always be in his heart. Here's Alberto Porcini once again.
E di nuovo con voi, once again with you. Now we go ahead with the podium. Intanto con Stefano Gai. Stefano, sul podio.
Sì, diciamo che le finali mondiali per me sono sempre state un po' sfortunate, questo era l'unico obiettivo della stagione. Abbiamo fatto queste poche apparizioni, però devo dire sempre buone, perché su 3 appuntamenti abbiamo fatto 3 pole position, Monza, Le Mans e qui ieri in gara 2 sotto il diluvio, quindi devo dire molto felice di questo. Devo ringraziare e dedicare questo terzo posto, anche se non è una vittoria, ma per me e per la squadra vale come una vittoria, visto il brutto incidente che ho subito in gara 1 per colpa di un doppiato 2 giorni fa. Nella notte i ragazzi hanno ricostruito la vettura, quindi devo ringraziare tutto il team dello soccorsa che ha fatto un lavoro perfetto, da Luciano Sacchi, mio capomacchine, i miei ingegneri, a tutto il team e i miei sponsor MR che mi hanno supportato durante tutta la stagione, a Star, a tutti, perché veramente mi hanno permesso di poter partecipare, di essere qui in questo evento stupendo Ferrari e di avere una macchina, appunto grazie al lavoro fatto dai ragazzi, perfetta. L'abbiamo dimostrato ieri in qualifica con la pole position e oggi sul bagnato che avevamo un passo molto buono nonostante partissimo dietro per le posizioni dei vari campionati, quindi noi partivamo terzi, era il 7° posto il nostro, abbiamo fatto una bella gara, dei bei sorpassi, ci siamo divertiti, potevamo fare un pochino di più se fossimo partiti avanti, ma mi accontento di questo.
A quick summary in English, Stefano, because it was a very nice message for your team.
Very fantastic race, because for me and for my team, because Rosso Corsa gave me a fantastic car after a big accident in race 1. Work hard all guys for 6 hours and give me repair completely the car and give me the car absolutely perfect for qualifying yesterday, that we do the pole position and for the race today.
Grazie, thank you, and we go ahead now with the second step of the podium, il secondo gradino del podio per Daniel Mancinelli, quindi un bel risultato visto che è la finale mondiale, intanto in italiano.
Sì, un risultato abbastanza buono, è chiaro che partendo dalla pole l'obiettivo era portarsi a casa il titolo mondiale.
So again, we're hearing this in Italian,
di tutti i modi.
and we will also be hearing this in English. Might be a while, but we will be hearing it in English.
E mi ha sorpassato proprio 2 giri prima del pit stop, poi all'uscita del pit stop il vantaggio che aveva lui su di me è sempre stato il medesimo fino a fine gara, ma non sono riuscito ad avere quel passo in più, qualcosa in più per cercare di prenderlo e attaccarlo. Comunque risultato comunque buono, come primo anno che mi vede al via nel Ferrari Challenge, e con ieri il secondo posto che purtroppo era anche stato il primo per un po' di minuti, diciamo, del primo posto nel campionato europeo. Poi dopo la decisione dei commissari che mi hanno penalizzato e quindi sono arrivato secondo nel campionato. Comunque un'ottima stagione e voglio ringraziare la mia famiglia che comunque mi sta sempre vicino in tutti gli eventi, e il team Motor Piacenza e gli sponsor che dall'inizio dell'anno comunque hanno spinto molto e hanno creduto in questo progetto, e comunque sono riuscito a regalargli molte vittorie.
Grazie. Quick English too, please, Daniel.
It was a very good weekend, and about the world final is a good result, arrive second. I wanted to do better to win, because I was starting from pole position, but I couldn't have the pace as quick to win the race. Baron was a little bit faster in the beginning of the race, and after the pit stop he was in front of me, and we remain in the same gap between us, but I couldn't do better than second.
Grazie, thank you once again, complimenti a Daniel, e adesso andiamo con il campione, now the champion, ma intanto andiamo in italiano, caro signor Philippe Baron, complimenti.
Grazie, è il mio terzo titolo mondiale qua nel Ferrari Challenge, sono molto contento, spero di prendere il quarto l'anno prossimo a Abu Dhabi. È stato un fine settimana bellissimo, peccato che non eravamo in lotta per prendere anche il titolo europeo, però se salti 2 gare più o meno logico, no? Siamo contentissimi e riveniamo l'anno prossimo a vincere tutti e 2 i titoli.
In English now, how many titles, Mr. Baron?
This is my 3rd title. We won the World Championship already in 2008 and 2010. And it's a wonderful title. Also in 2008 we won here in Mugello, which is a wonderful track here. And I'm really happy to go to Abu Dhabi next year, and hopefully I get my 4th one.
Grazie, congratulazioni ancora, thank you very much. E adesso a voi, ci rivediamo dopo, però Ferrari Show, emozioni Ferrari. Back to you guys and see you later, bye.
Alberto, thank you so much for all your help. And Philippe Barron there saying, well, he's looking forward to defending this title and taking it again, hopefully in Abu Dhabi, which is the host venue for the World Finals for next year. That calendar already announced. We take a look at some of the images then, and I urge you to take a look at the Ferrari website, corsaclienti.ferrari.com. You'll find out all the information about the Ferrari Challenge there, and of course the very exciting calendar for 2014. Reached the conclusion of what has been an exciting year of racing in both the Coppa Shell and the TropheoPirelli categories of Ferrari Challenge. Traditionally, it all ends in one glittering weekend, the World Final weekend, when we bring together the European contenders, the Asia Pacific, and also the North America series as well. And all those cars out on the grid make for a fantastic spectacle for the many thousands of people that are here to also say cheerio to Felipe Massa. Final weekend, something very, very special in the world of Ferrari, and this Mugello circuit, despite the weather doing its best to dampen the occasion, hasn't done so. You can see the thousands of fans there in the stands, looking forward to seeing the Formula One show that comes up. Again, that's part of the World Final weekend, and it really is something very, very special indeed. Many, many congratulations to Philippe Barron on taking the World Final win. Congratulations also to Sergei Chukhanov for taking the TropheoPirelli European title, and to David Gosner for the Coppa Shell European title. And that has been the focus of our season, of course, as we follow the Ferrari Challenge and its European series right across the Europe region. Provided us some excellent racing indeed, and more of the same in 2014. My thanks to Nico Spalek alongside me. It's been a great season. We look forward to seeing you in 2014 once again. From me, bye for now.